I think it's safe to say that Juan Soto is going to be paid and paid very well.
You are Locked On MLB, your daily MLB podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Is fixed. If anyone's listening to me, let me know if my mic issue has been fixed. And welcome to Locked On MLB. It's early on Sunday. This is the podcast. We talk about all of Major League Baseball. I am your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please accept the bumps and bruises of a live show. And you can call me Sully. I have been a baseball podcaster for well over a decade now. And this is my sixth season here as a member of the Locked On Podcast Network. You can find us at Locked On MLB Pods on Twitter or on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. And if you are listening and you want to post, if you're listening to this every day, you want to post on social media. Sorry, the mic issue kind of rattled me a little bit. Use that hashtag everyday Sully so we have we know who's listening. Hey, if you're on the live feed at all, please let me know in the comment section if the mic issue has been fixed. There's before we get started on the show, there's a lot of things to cover on this Sunday episode. That's right, I'm not taking any days off. We're just gonna keep going here. We had a fun show yesterday, which turned into an impromptu crossover with Ethan Smith from Locked On Pirates. We talked about the Paul Skeens situation, and I had a trivia question regarding the Pirates. Pirates have won every World Series they've won has gone 7 games, and I asked who was the pitcher who clinched the first ever World Series won by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now I got a couple of people throwing some answers around, and the most common one I got was Deacon Philippe. Stephen Colatrella, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, I apologize, said Deacon Philippe won 3 games in that series. Deacon Philippe did indeed win 3 games in the original World Series, the 1903 World Series, which the Red Sox won, I think they were called the Pilgrims then, over the Pirates, and Philippe won 3 games in that series. No, the answer is Babe Adams. Babe Adams threw a complete game shutout to shut out the Detroit Tigers to win the 1909 World Series for Honus Wagner and your Pittsburgh Pirates. By the way, we're still working to see if we could get Locked On Boston Pilgrims somewhere on this show. Let's just go through a little bit. This is we're doing this on May 19, and we'll just take a little gander around and see who won baseball on May 18th, because that's going to lead into 2 of the topics we're going to talk about today. First and foremost, Luis Matos for the Giants drove in 6 runs, got 3 hits, hit a home run. And going into yesterday, one of the hottest teams in baseball were the Colorado Rockies, if you could believe it. Well, the Giants stopped that with a 14-4 victory over Colorado. Luis Gil of the Yankees. Boy, the Yankees have had to pull a lot of good pitching since they don't have Garrett Cole for the first few months of the season. And Luis Gil has been very, very good for them. Clark Schmidt pitched well the other day. Carlos Rodon pitched well, which is like making an acquisition because Rodon was hurt and stunk last year, and he's been effective this year. But Luis Gil was terrific. Struck out 14 Chicago White Sox batters in 6 innings. The Yankees won that one 6-1. Shota Imanaga pitched 7 innings. Cubs shut out the Pirates 1-0 on a walk-off. And Juan Soto amassed 10 total bases. He got 4 hits. 2 of them were home runs. Also walked, and the Yankees won that 6-1 game against the White Sox. Half wobs. These are the players who were the highlights on teams that lost. Grayson Rodriguez, 1 hit over 6 scoreless innings. Orioles lost that one 4-3. Jake Myers went 3 for 4 with a home run, but the Astros lost to the Brewers 4-2. Starling Marte got 3 hits, but the Mets bullpen had an absolute meltdown. And quite frankly, I'm wondering if the Diaz is done. 10-9 Mets lost to Miami. And Bailey Falter, another good quality start for a Pirates starter, but the Pittsburgh lost that 1-0. By the way, before I jump into one of the main topics, another collapse by Toronto. They were up 4-0 in the seventh, and they wound up losing to Tampa Bay 5-4. We're going to talk a little bit about Toronto this week because tick tock, it is going to be late May. Tomorrow is the 20th day of May. The week after that is Memorial Day, the first checkpoint of the season. And it doesn't look good for Toronto. But I'll tell you something, it looks very good for the New York Yankees. And as I've said before, and I've said it again, a lot of us trashed the Yankees, especially Brian Cashman, especially Aaron Boone and Hal Steinbrenner for sitting on their hands and also just not doing a good job constructing a team. And if you threw tomatoes at them and you dumped cement on them when things are going badly, even a classic Yankee hater like myself has to be fair and praise the Yankees. Boone's done a tremendous job. The fact that they're 32-15 without the Cy Young Award winner, their biggest highlight last year was Garrett Cole, and they have not had him. And their pitching staff has been tremendous. Cortez has pitched well. Clark Schmidt has pitched very well. Luis Gil has pitched very well. Rodon has turned things around and has been effective this year. And Marcus Stroman, who was acquired this year, so give Cashman credit for an acquisition, has pitched very well. Luke Weaver, who they brought in this year, has pitched very well. And Clay Holmes has been miraculous. So if you add Garrett Cole to this pitching staff, suddenly this looks like the team to beat in the American League. But of course, their biggest, they made a few acquisitions in the offseason, but nobody, and did I mention nobody, Jonathan Curran says, have the next Cy Young Award winner go. Hey, Jonathan, I know you're in the booth there. Let me know if my mic issue is fixed, if it's not muffled anymore. But Juan Soto, yeah, I know they gave up, you're right. Thank you, Jonathan Curran, who corrected me. It's pronounced Luis Heel. Okay, you're right. I did mispronounce it. It's early on Sunday. But Juan Soto, who I believe that's how you pronounce it, has been everything you could ask for. He has done nothing wrong so far. He has come in immediately. Remember when he started the first few games? He didn't win the games with his bat. He won the game with his arm. Dazzling defense. Do you like batting average? He's batting .317. You like OPS? He's batting .975. You like total bases? He leads the American League with 101 total bases. You like hits? He leads the American League in hits. You like home runs? He's already in double-digit home runs. He has 4 stolen bases. He has come up big time, game after game. He has been unbelievable. And yes, the Yankees did pay an expensive price to pick him up. He did cost them Brito and King and a couple other players who were very good. But guess what? Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth it to get a legitimate MVP candidate. And right now, he is the MVP of the American League, especially since Trout's gone and Shohei Ohtani is playing elsewhere in the National League right now. I don't know if you read the papers. So, I mean, he is 25 years old. He is 25. He's not going to turn 26 until October. And Yankee haters better hope that he is at home during that, because if he's playing the World Series, they may be winning it. He has been a 1, 2, 3, 4 times has been a top 10 MVP candidate. And has a World Series ring. And has been a batting champion. And has done all sorts of things and leads the league in walks year in and year out. and he's going to have a tremendous year this year. And of course, he is a free agent. Now, there was at the end of this year, there was an article that the Steinbrenner would be Hal Steinbrenner, not George. They didn't pull out a Ouija board. Hal Steinbrenner is open for conversation about extending Juan Soto. Juan Soto has taken to New York as well as any star I've ever seen with the Yankees. Remember, it took a little bit. A-Rod was never 100% accepted by the Yankee fans. It bewilders me why, but that's the case. I think the biggest star I've ever seen just take to New York like a fish to water the nanosecond he arrived there was, I think, probably that I've seen in my lifetime was probably Mike Piazza. I mean, you could throw a couple other Yankees, but Reggie wasn't immediately accepted. I mean, who are some? If you have any other ideas of putting the chat there, but I think Piazza to me is the one that I can think of who was a huge star, arrived in New York and just immediately was like, guess what? This is my town. And Piazza, who was the Dodgers, suddenly became the Mets, and so I would point to him. But Soto, I think, has done even, the way he has just taken to New York has been astonishing. And there's no way he's going to sign an extension. Okay, let me rephrase that because I was so wrong with the Ohtani thing earlier this year. He probably won't because of the tomatoes that Boras took from all the clients that he had in this year's offseason, including the defending Cy Young Award winner, Blake Snell, who couldn't get the big offer. He couldn't land him the offers that he wanted to get. And all the talk was, it was like the Scott Boras 3. Remember that? Montgomery couldn't sign. All these players couldn't sign. And like, oh, Boras has lost it. Boras has lost it. Boras has lost it. And he has a 26-year-old MVP candidate who can do everything. The one thing he hasn't done, Justin Llamas says the one thing he hasn't done is win an MVP, which will happen this year. I think you're right. Barring an injury or like someone else just skyrocketing, Soto is the leader in the clubhouse right now to win the MVP. To have a defending MVP who's 26 years old, who shows he can handle the spotlight, who already has a World Series ring, and you think he's not going to put him on the open market? Especially if one of those teams are the Yankees, who are desperate to get back to the World Series for the first time in a generation. Also, the Mets are out there dealing with their bumps and bruises. I wonder if they want to steal the spotlight from the Yankees. There's also the Los Angeles Dodgers, who salivate at the idea of adding MVPs to their team. And then there are the San Francisco Giants, who could use a big slugger in that team and has piles and piles and piles of money. And oh yeah, there are the Angels, who also have piles of money and probably would say, hey, what if we acquire an MVP to play on losing teams? That's our bread and butter. And somewhere out there, maybe the Red Sox, remember them? They haven't spent big time money. You think they wouldn't want to add an MVP to to appease a fan base who's coming up to Fenway Park with pitchforks and torches ever since they handed an MVP, yes, to Los Angeles. Yes, I know Connor Wong's been fine. I don't think he was worth Mookie Betts. So Boras says, I have all the big spenders, including the Cubs. I didn't even mention the Cubs. And then there'll inevitably be some weird owner who's out there saying, I want to get in on that action. And next thing you know, like the Braves or the Mariners or some other team we're not expecting will get in on that. You think for a second Scott Boras isn't going to try to see, to recreate the end of Trading Places and rake in huge piles of money? I mean, he just like, this could be the biggest payday of all time for him. So no, I don't think he's going to answer your question. No, I don't think he's going to sign. Call me crazy. Oh man, I'm late for my ad. All right, let's hear a little bit from our friends at Policygenius. You know what Policygenius is? It's the nation's leading online marketplace for your life insurance. It saves you time and money so you can provide your family with a financial safety net starting today. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Life can be unpredictable, and Policygenius can take away some of the worries of what your family would do if something happened. Policygenius gives you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team. They have no incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. Thousands of five-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found their best fit for their needs. Use Policygenius. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policygenius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonmlb or click the link in the description below to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you can save. That's policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. Now, are you a grown-up? Are you trying to organize your finances instead of just breaking the piggy bank open? Do you need to think long-term? Now, do you want to make your portfolio grow and so you can deal with the rising costs of inflation, to pay off any debt, to pay off your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way between you and financial freedom? Well, unless you're Juan Soto, I think what you need to do is use yahoofinance.com. With Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools that you need in order to reach that financial freedom. Now, if you're not a pending most valuable player who's going to sign either contract with the Yankees or some other big team, then you need to really manage your money well. And for over 25 years, as long as Juan Soto's been alive, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They are the #1 finance destination that provides a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news and editorial perspective, analyst ratings, independent research. They got so much more, and you can securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth. It's all there. 401k, other investments. They got a comprehensive perspective of what sets apart great investors, and it's how Yahoo Finance ensures you have the insight to look at wealth in its entirety. With a community of over 90 million users each month, their real strength is helping you on your way to financial success and independence. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand that every great investor uses, yahoofinance.com. The #1 financial destination is yahoofinance.com. What's that site again? That's yahoofinance.com. Go there, Juan Soto. You're going to need it. Hey, where are you getting your sports news? Where's your place that has become your go-to hub? Go to Locked On Sports Today. It's a free 24/7 streaming channel program for you every single day. Locked On Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube and the free Fire Amazon TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Yeah, that segment went a little longer, but I got a little heated. So I'm just gonna get right to the point here. Remember how Yamamoto was the big, huge pitching acquisition? Yamamoto and Blake Snell, they were the two big pitching acquisitions that were going to happen this offseason. Defending Cy Young Award winner and the big, huge superstar of Japan. Well, Blake Snell's first appearance was a disaster, as was Yamamoto's. Snell has gone on the, oh my God, I needed spring training injured list. And Yamamoto has turned things around and is pitching pretty well. He's adapted pretty well. So far, he's not on the short list of the Cy Young Award, but I don't think anyone is crying because he's deflected away some of his badness that he had in that start in Korea. However, the big acquisition turned out to be Shota Imanaga. And Shota Imanaga signed with the Chicago Cubs. He had another brilliant game yesterday. He has been everything that you could ask for. He's, in this day and age where everyone's, no one's pitching more than 5 innings, he's averaging just about 6 innings a start, and he's building it up and up and up. He has struck out 58 batters. He's walked 9. A 58-9 strikeout to walk ratio. That's nearly 7 strikeouts per walk. He's striking out more than a batter an inning, because he has 58 strikeouts in 53 and 2/3 innings. He's made 9 starts. He's let up 5 earned runs for an ERA of 0.84. I don't look at win-loss record. That doesn't tell you anything. He's 5-0, but I really that you could be lucky. He pitched brilliantly yesterday. Didn't get the win. So he has been absolutely right now the leader of the Cy Young Award. Absolutely has been, and he's also pretty much a lock to win the Rookie of the Year. Now, I have said this before, and I will say it again. I think there should be a different award for a player who has played in a professional league before coming to the major leagues. We have established that the leagues in Japan are a high quality level of professional competition. It's not the major leagues, but it's not the same as being an amateur. It's not the same as Gunnar Henderson last year, or when Ronald Acuna was a young kid coming up and winning the Rookie of the Year, when he did, or when Judge won the Rookie of the Year, or when Carlos Correa, like some of these players who were young kids coming up through the system, through high school, through college, and they finally make their grand appearance. That to me is a rookie. When Jose Abreu played in the Cuban League, that's kind of on the cusp. But when I see like Shohei Ohtani was an established star, or Ichiro was an established star, that feels like that should be a different category. Ryan Howard coming up through the minor leagues and then exploding on the scene in 2005, that's a rookie. That's a rookie to me. Ichiro Suzuki felt like a star who has moved to another league. Shohei Ohtani was a star moved to another league. Now, I know it's kind of I don't know, it may be difficult to thread that needle and try to figure out what counts and what doesn't. But I think I think that if you played in the leagues in Korea, in Japan, and I think the Cuban national team, which we've established is a very high level of play, I think there should be another award for that. I think it's the first year of the major leagues from another professional league, or another league like that. I would call it the Ichiro Award. And I think Imanaga would run away with that, the way Ohtani did. Now, we don't have it this year, and barring a collapse, Imanaga is going to win that. But you've got Yamamoto and Imanaga going head to head for the Rookie of the Year, and they're both established professional pitchers. That just doesn't feel like a rookie. Could be wrong. Someone could take offense. By the way, speaking of former Cy Young Awards, Zack Greinke, who's had a borderline Hall of Fame career, he's similar career to Schilling and Jim Bunning. This is according to BaseballReference.com, the single greatest website in the history of the planet Earth. He apparently is trying out with the Arizona Diamondbacks, or at least working out in their facility. And I miss Zack Greinke. Zack Greinke in baseball is a positive thing. His peak was unbelievably high. Cy Young Award winner. Probably could have won a second one. He won a Cy Young with the Royals in 2009. Probably would have could have won a second one in 2015 with Los Angeles. bounced around a little bit, played well in the World Series, was taken out of the game in one of the weirdest managed games I've ever seen by Hinch, where he took Greinke out too early and never put in Garrett Cole, cost the Astros the World Series. And he did not pitch well last year for Kansas City, which was his 20th season in the big leagues. I'm a huge Zack Greinke fan. I love his honesty. I love his competitiveness, but also as someone who is, and I'll say it, as someone who's a special ed teacher, that he came out and said, yeah, I have depression. Yeah, I have mental health issues. Yeah, I need help. Yeah, I need to step away from a little bit. To be able to do that in the tough and rough macho world of professional sports, and to be that open about it, I think it started a conversation for some people to say, oh, maybe this doesn't mean there's something wrong with you and you're crazy or all the other things that would be associated with that. I'm for anyone who takes the stigma away from issues of mental health and everything like that. And I think that he doesn't need to prove anything in the major leagues, but I would love to see him back. And I think he has the mental makeup to be a solid reliever. I mean, he pitched 171 innings as recently as 2021. He pitched 142 in the third innings last year, but he could be I think he could get a couple of starts here or there, but I think he could also make it as a relief pitcher. He certainly has the mental makeup for it and the mental toughness to be able to do it. And I just think the league is a little bit better with Zack Greinke in it. So I miss him. So he's working out. Give him a shot, Arizona. Give him a shot, someone else. There are 29 other teams out there who could use it. So as a big fan of Zack Greinke, let me just say, come on, Zack. Come back. We know you don't need the money. We know you don't need the adulation, but I think it'd be good for baseball. Let's talk a little bit about our friends over at LinkedIn. Are you struggling to close deals? Business to business selling is tougher than ever. And that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. So right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. What are you waiting for? Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and you can get started. Hey, this is a reminder that Locked On has begun the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's available on the Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channel app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local extras of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channel app. All right, we're wrapping up the show here. I'd be remiss not to mention the fact that it's May 19th, and that would have been my dad's 83rd birthday. And I miss my dad every day. And he was my great, great baseball companion. Now, my mom is a huge baseball fan as well, and has been a different kind of baseball companion over the years. My father and I used to take trips, and we would try to see like 3 or 4 stadiums in 3 or 4 days. And we aimed for stadiums that we felt were going to hit the Wrecker's Ball. So we want to be able to say we've seen a game at Tiger Stadium, we've seen a game at Milwaukee County Stadium. We went to Three Rivers and Riverfront Stadium and Old Cleveland Stadium and the Montreal Stade Olympique, and we collected these stadiums together. And we would be driving from place to place driving from like Cleveland to Pittsburgh or from, Detroit to Chicago. And this was pre-cell phone. This was pre-satellite radio. It would be just the two of us in the car for hours with the sports section, the sporting news, Baseball America, and we just talk baseball the whole time and get back to the hotel room and turn on Baseball Tonight. And the last game we went together, unless my memory is fading, was the third game of the 2014 World Series between his beloved Giants and the Kansas City Royals. So, raise a glass. Oh, I wasn't going to get emotional. Trivia question. Hey, this one's from my mom because my dad grew up a huge Giants fan, but my mom grew up a Yankee fan during the age of Casey Stengel. Casey Stengel was in the cutting edge, ahead of his time in the use of his bullpen. He used bullpen closers and mixed and matched his pitchers. In his time as Yankee manager, he won 6 World Series titles as the manager, but only one World Series managed by Casey Stengel, won by Casey Stengel, was clinched with a complete game victory. Who is the only Yankee pitcher to throw a complete game victory to clinch a World Series for Yankee manager Casey Stengel? That's your trivia question right now. All right, talking about Zack Greinke, Juan Soto, Imanaga, and my dad. This has been Locked On MLB. I got overly emotional, and you can call me Sully.